Morning guys, welcome to Alice Loves YouTube channel. Sorry that I look like this, but as you will have guessed from the title, today's video is all about me trying to sort of teach you a few tips on how to recover after maybe quite a heavy night. So last night was a big special party for my mum's birthday. It was like a mini wedding really. We've basically talked about this party and planned this party more than my sister's wedding, which is in November, so hopefully now my sister's wedding will get all the attention it deserves. But it was a fabulous night, but it's left me not feeling too terrible, a little bit delicate, don't feel awful, but I can feel it on my skin. So this is literally how I've woken up. I haven't done anything to my face yet. I've had a shower, my hair's just tied back because I'm not doing anything special today, so hair will get washed and done tomorrow. It was freshly washed yesterday, so I've just tied it up and I'm just going to go through with you sort of my skincare bits and bobs, and then a few tips and tricks on, not necessarily tricks, but you know, the things I do to try and make my face look a little bit better with makeup but without going full face of makeup. So I've got a few bits here. Let's start. I'm just still really enjoying and drinking my tea, so let me just pop this down so I don't cause it a nightmare. So as you may or may not be able to see, I did do a fairly good job at taking off my makeup last night, considering it was late and I was tired and it had been a really long day. But because I had fake eyelashes on, I always find that I still get bits of the eyelash glue and little bits of mascara left. So I'm going to go in with my normal Vichy waterproof eye makeup remover, which is the one I always use. If you watch my channel or read my blog, you'll know. And just start with very gently getting the excess off. Now, I am even more gentle the next day after drinking a little bit too much and having a really late night and not a lot of sleep, because I find that my eyes are the area that really shows sort of dehydration the most. I don't know if that's just because of, I suppose, my age. I'm 28, so I'm not yet, you know, really suffering with wrinkles or anything, but you know, fine lines around the eyes start to show, and I find that when I'm dehydrated it's a lot worse. So I'm just getting all the excess glue. Getting the eyelash glue off is such a nightmare. Okay, then I'm going to go in with a really hydrating cleanser because obviously I'm dehydrated. So I've got here the hot cloth cleanser from Soap and Glory called the Ulti-Melt, and this is a cream cleanser, and a lot of the time I use balms, but I find that this cream just feels really hydrating on the skin. So I'm just going to really nicely rub this in and enjoy, you know, really rubbing it into the skin. Smells amazing, it really does. Doesn't smell like you know, the typical Soap and Glory in terms of the body care products, but it just smells like a spa. It smells really, I don't know if it might maybe be essential oils, but it smells gorgeous. So I've now really rubbed this in, obviously on a dry face, so almost like a moisturiser, and I can feel that my skin is really drinking it in, like it's almost disappeared. So I've got here, it was a piping hot flannel, so obviously it's just cooled down while I've been talking, so it's just nice and warm. I'm just going to wipe that off. Now there shouldn't hopefully be too much makeup on, because as I say, I did do actually surprisingly a double cleanse last night. Oh, I just think I start to feel so much more human once I've just cleansed and wiped a warm flannel all over my face. Okay. So what I'm going to do in terms of skincare this morning is start with a sort of exfoliating mask that will brighten the skin and help bring a bit of life back to it. So I've got here the Kate Somerville Exfolikate. Wow, I've had not a lot of sleep and my words are not coming out very well. Exfolikate. Now I really love this. If you are a regular watch my videos or read with the blog, you will know another sort of exfoliating mask I love is the Peter Thomas Roth, and I would say that slightly edges this, but this is quite an intensive treatment. So it says to massage it into the face for 30 seconds and leave on for up to 2, whereas the other ones are up to 15. So this is quite a quick, you know, going back to see my mum and some other friends are going to be round. So, you know, I don't want to spend ages with masks. So it's a bright green mask, and I just rub it in circular motions. As it says, for 30 seconds. I would normally use obviously both hands because I would stand at like a bathroom mirror. So once I know it's all over my face, I'll obviously use both hands to sort of rub that in. Once I've done my exfoliate, so as you can see, I try to avoid the eye area as much as I can, obviously nothing on the lids. So I just gently now rub this in, sort of activate it. I don't think it really does activate it, but it's got ever so little like physical granules in there to exfoliate physically, but then obviously it's full of acid, so it also chemically exfoliates. So the 30 seconds, although they say to activate it, it's more to sort of actually work the beads in for the manual exfoliation, but they're ever so gentle. Obviously anything with really harsh beads in can cause a lot of broken capillaries, which is not what you want. So I'm going to leave this on now for 2 minutes, and I will then wash it off in the sink with a warm flannel, and I will come back to you. So the Exfolikate is all washed off. My skin is probably, you can see sort of around the hairline, a little bit red because it is a very active product. And what I'm going to go in with now is a really hydrating cloth mask. Now this sheet mask is a little bit unfair because you can't get hold of it anymore. It's my last one of my Olay 7 Total Effects, and these were my favourite sheet masks, but they don't sell them anymore. But they're sort of anti-aging and hydrating. Obviously there are so many sheet masks on the market now. You know, Garnier do them for like £1, but you can see they're absolutely saturated in anti-aging and hydrating products. So I'm going to pop this on my face, let you see how ridiculous I look, and then leave it on for a good 15 minutes and come back to you. So this is what you get: the eyes, nose and mouth. I'm going to just use this mirror and pull it tight around the face. I like to make sure that it's really firmly pressed on, so that you get in all the product, especially like around the eyes, like I say, where I'm really dehydrated. So this is how nice and crazy I look, and I'm just going to lie now, do a bit of Instagram and enjoy chilling out, and I'll come back to you once I finish with this and show you my next steps. So this mask has now been on for about 20 minutes, so I'm just going to take it off. There is still so much product on it. I always feel like it's such a shame. And I'm just going to rub all the excess product in now. And take that all sort of down the neck as well. Some of them are really sticky, so I would recommend wiping it away, but I am actually going to run a hydrating toner over in a minute, so that will wipe some off as well. Rub that in my hands. So all of the excess is rubbed in. I can feel it a little bit on the skin. It does feel a lot, oh yeah, it's a lot more hydrated around my eyes, actually look alive. So this is the Indie Lee hydrating toner. So I'm just going to saturate the cotton pad with this and rub it over my face, and that will obviously take off some of the excess sticky while still adding another layer of hydration. What I don't really like to do when I am feeling dehydrated is to then take another hot flannel and wipe the excess off, because it does feel like a real waste of the product. So this will wipe the excess, but while still adding another layer of hydration as well. So I'm starting to really be able to see my skin sort of coming back to life. Shame about this crazy hair. So eye cream next, get that straight on these really dehydrated eyes. The one I've got today is the Avene Soothing Eye Contour Cream, which is just one you can get from Boots. I think it was probably about £11. So I've put a little bit more than normal on. I'm just going to take the time to really gently rub that in and take it right sort of back up here as well. Now what I try to do with eye cream is not take it too close, you know, right under the eye, to take it round almost the socket and where sort of the contour of the eye is. I was always taught, I don't know how true this is, but I was told by a lot of different people, that if you take it too high, it can actually almost cause bulging under the eyes, so like product build-up, and that you should take it sort of lower down, round that bone, and really where you would see the fine lines forming, which is obviously around here. So get that on, and then I'm going to go in with 2 serums. In fact, firstly, I'm just going to pop on my Nip and Fab Bee Sting cream, and I'm going to take a decent amount, and I'm going to pop that just on the neck area, because I've had fake tan on, I've obviously had a good scrub in the shower, and I just really feel like my neck is dry and I can see lines forming, so I'm popping that one on my neck. You can just use your normal one, but because I'm using a hydrating moisturiser, I didn't really want to put that one down my neck, so I've just put quite a rich one on. So I'm going to go in with my Hylamide Low Molecular HA Multi-Depth Hydration Booster, and basically it is just a hyaluronic acid. So I'm just going to drip that down the face and rub that into the skin. My skin is literally drinking this in. Now, the hyaluronic acid in itself isn't a hydrating product. What it does is helps the moisturiser cling to the skin more. So I'm going in with the Body Shop Drops of Light, which is one of my favourite ever moisturisers, and even more so after a night of partying, because it's a sort of light giving moisturiser. So I've just wiped the excess on my hand because I want to see if I need any more, but you can really see this moisturiser gives a really lovely glow to the skin. It starts to make your skin look really healthy and glowy again. So yeah, I definitely don't need that last bit of moisturiser, so I will just rub that down my neck as well. Right then. So for makeup, I don't want to do a full face of glam, and obviously that is going to help you look more human if you put a million layers on, but I'm not going anywhere other than to my mum's, but I don't want to really go looking like this. So I'm just still pushing all the moisturiser in because I can really feel it on the skin. So I'm going to start with, while I'm letting that soak in, I'm using at the moment, I am doing a full blog post on it, a Lilash Eye Growth Serum. And from what I've seen from other people, it's been really amazing results. So I've taken some before pictures. I think I'm about 2 weeks into using it now, and I think it says 6 to 12 weeks before you see the best results. So you just draw a line of it along, I suppose, where you would do like an eyeliner. I like to make sure obviously it actually touches the roots of the lashes. And you have to leave that for 3 minutes before you put anything on top. So I'm going to go in first with my Instant Illusions Rapid Radiance Balm from number 7. This one's almost out, but I've already bought a second one. Oh, don't tell Andy, it's just shot across the room. I've already dropped lipsticks on the floor this week. That one's completely empty now, but I've already bought a second one of that because number 7 often do their money off vouchers, and it's a primer that I really love. Like the glow is just instantly on my cheeks, so I really enjoy using something like this on a day like today. So I've already got a new one of that. Let me wipe that excess off the background. It's just got a little bit of sort of I suppose almost like highlighting properties, and it does look a lot healthier. So what have I got here? I'm going to go in with my LA Girl Pro Coverage Foundation. I'm just going to put 1 pump on a very well used beauty blender. I used it last night and I do not have the energy to fully wash that again, so you'll have to excuse that. I'm just trying to, it's quite a full coverage foundation, but I've only used 1 pump, and I'm just going to really try and spread it quite thinly across the face, but just to give a little bit of coverage to the areas of redness that I've got on the skin, and hopefully it will just cover nicely and still let that glow peek through. But because I've got a bit of fake tan on my neck and I can't fake tan my face because it always gives me an allergic reaction, I have to use one of my darker foundations to try and sort of even it out, and this happens to be one of my darker ones, but I really, I think I put it in my favourites video, maybe not last month, the month before, because I've just, for the price as well, I'm sure it's only something like £8 or something online, and I just think, I just feel really nice when I use this foundation. I think it really helps even the skin out beautifully. So just take that down and just work that into the skin, so it's not sitting on it, it's nothing heavy, it's not really high coverage, but what it is doing is just taking all the redness out of the skin and keeping that dewiness there. So that is the base done, and then I'm going in as always with my trusty colour corrector from Tarte, and I think this really helps when you're tired because it just really cancels out the darkness, and I think for me this would be the one product other than my sort of skincare that I couldn't live without after a late night with lots of booze and not enough sleep, because it really does make a difference. Look at that, you know, they instantly look more alive, more human, whereas when I saw Mum this morning, went to get the cars, and Mum was like, oh, you look tired, but I'm hoping when she sees me later she won't think the same. Now, concealer wise, Radiance Reveal from Bourjois, again, light reflecting, we're thinking of trying to make ourselves look as awake as possible. So I'm going to take that down there, and same the other side. Now what I'm going to try and do is avoid adding any extra product around the little fine lines, because they are more pronounced than normal because I'm dehydrated. So I'm going to keep it really more on the inner corner, and then when I take it out I'm trying to really dab away the excess product from the areas where you might get little fine lines, because what you don't want is to be adding layers and layers of product into the areas that are more fine lines, and you don't want to be adding super highlighting products on there either, because again that'll just be highlighting it. So I'm going to turn it over to the clean bit of the Beauty Blender to really dab away on that part of the eye and not accentuate it. Okay, and then my trusty YSL pink powder to set under the eyes and to obviously add further brightness as it's a pink colour. So we'll go straight in under the eyes. Again, I really open my eyes wide. I always say it, but the last thing you want to do is set in place creases. There we go. Then I'm just going to take my blusher brush. This is the Hourglass, what's this one actually called? The Ambient Lighting Edit Surreal Light. It was one of their limited edition, I'm not sure if it's still available. And I'm just going to take it down this one here, which is the setting powder, and just dust that around the centre of the face. Obviously I've done a lot of glow products, and as much as we want a glow, you know, we don't need my whole face to be like, you know, crazy dewy. But it's still a very highlighting one. Then I'm just going to take a tiny bit of the bronzer. Again, I'm just using my blusher brush for it. Again, low maintenance. Not normally. That's not a phrase you'll hear out of my mouth very often. But, you know, we don't need a really bright look. And I just want to add a little bit of bronze to the cheeks. You know, not a strict contour, but just to add a little bit of definition back to the face. A bit of warmth, try and balance it up with my fake tan. Just blending it out, we don't want any sort of patchiness. And I do find sometimes when you've gone really hydrating with the base, that obviously unless you then want to completely set down your whole face, you can get products sticking to your skin a little bit easier because it's still very dewy and sticky. So it's just all about really trying to blend that in to not get that I'm just, as you can see, taking it down the neck to try and balance that off. Right, okay, so I'm going to do my brows. I feel like brows make a big difference to the face, but again, we're not doing full glam, so I'm not going to worry about doing, you know, a really big full brow. I'm just going to really try and fill in for me In fact, let me do the one, and then what I'll do is look at the camera and you can sort of see the difference just with even gently filling them in and how different it looks to my face. Whereas, you know, if it's a full night out, I like to really make sure that I've got, you know, really defined brows, quite full, quite a strong arch. But, you know, I'm not going to be doing eye makeup today. I'm just going to do a pop of colour on the lips to try and make myself look more human. So I don't need to do, you know, I'd look a bit out of place with a really big heavy eyebrow and then not really much makeup elsewhere. The blusher that I am going to use is annoyingly for you guys not available either, which I know I shouldn't do, but I need to be honest, that is the one I love to wear on a day when I'm feeling a little bit ropey. Right, so there we go, that's one brow done. I will do the other one off camera for you so you don't have to see it, but you can just see it's very subtle. It's not a big full brow, but just that compared to that, how much you can really see the brow and I look more human. The tail in particular of mine is very, very fair. In fact, even here, like look, you can almost see no hairs in this part of my brow because they're very fair and very sparse. So just makes a bit of a difference filling them in. So I'll do the other one and then come back. So we've got both brows done now. I'm just gonna jump to a bit of blusher. As I say, this is actually a real random brand that Superdrug used to stock. It's Accesorize, the stock that does, you know, like bags and whatnot. I think they went through a phase of doing makeup, I don't know if they still do, but Superdrug used to stock it, and I just really loved this blusher. You can't get it anymore, it's broken, the lid's separate to it, but I just really like the little flush that it gives me. So just a flush of that on the cheeks. Then I'm just going to take, actually I'll use the same, no I won't. I'm going to grab the brush that I set under my eyes with. I'm taking a bit more of the powder in here and just setting around the nose because I can see that's looking really quite shiny around there. Then I've got this beautiful new palette from NARS, the Board de Plague. I'm sure that is not how you say it, and it is absolutely stunning. These two annoyingly have come loose, so I have to be really careful. But I'm going to take this top highlighter shade, which is really bright, and just pop that on the top of the cheeks, on both sides, for a bit of glow, under the brow bone as always, and down the centre of the nose. And that just instantly makes me feel more alive. So nice bit of highlighter. And then I'm just going to curl my lashes and chuck some mascara on now that I've left that Lilash to dry. So these are the Umera eyelash curlers, which I absolutely love. There are some other good ones that I've used through the years, but I still always come back to these ones. I think Japanesque ones were quite good. Now, I think if I remember rightly they're a bit cheaper than these, but I still just always use my Umera. Now I haven't tried the Kevin O'Quan ones, which I've heard are good, but if it's not broken, don't fix it, eh? So I'm just curling my lashes. Now I know people don't always do this, but especially on a day like today for myself when I'm feeling, you know, as I keep saying, delicate, it just helps really open the eye. Because it lifts the lashes. Now some people naturally have really curly lashes and don't need to do this, but mine more or less grow downwards, they're that straight. So for me I do just need that little bit of extra help. My lash colours are a bit dirty, so they're putting just a little bit of product around the face. So I'm just going to use our favourite Maybelline the Falsies. This is a waterproof lash mascara, because unless I've got my LVL lash lift, I have to use waterproof, otherwise it just drags the curl down. Waterproof helps hold the curl. It's a lot lighter, so it actually lifts them and keeps them looking more awake. Ideally what I'd do is put some fake eyelashes on, because that would make me look a lot more human, but it's a lot of effort and I'm really not bothered by doing a full face of makeup today. So just a little lick of mascara is totally fine. Then what I am going to do, as I mentioned earlier, is just do a bright lip, which makes me just feel a little bit more summery. I am going to very quickly, just on this setting brush, that's quite a big brush, take the bronzer and just run a little bit of bronzer over my lids, not evenly, just not like a shadow, not even taking it all the way down, but just that little bit. I just think, well, you'll see, it's a tiny little difference, but it just makes my eyes look a little bit more defined. It's mainly in the socket that I'm applying it, but then just taking it down toward the lash line as well. I don't know if you'll even notice on camera, it's just a tiny little difference. And I'm just going to go in with a quick second layer of mascara. Not putting any on my bottom lashes, just trying to keep it very natural other than the bright pop of lip. Now, I like a bright lip and not a lot of eyes, because I think when you're tired, if you do a full eye, yes, okay, you might look a little bit more glam, but I think it can sometimes really close the eyes and make the eyes look even more tired. So I'm trying to keep them as sort of fresh and wide as possible. So I'm not adding stuff to the bottom lash which can draw them in. I'm adding highlighter under the brow bone to try and keep it light, and then I'm trying to detract from the eyes by bright lip. So I've just got here the NYX Intense Butter Gloss in Funnel Delight, which is a very, very bright pink. Sorry, my camera just cut out. So I just finished putting my pink lip on. So that's the finished look. For me, the main focus really is getting that skincare right, getting the moisture back in, and then just quite a light face, quite dewy, keep it fresh, and a bright lip to detract. So hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Obviously, I'd love it if you subscribed. I will obviously go and put an outfit on now before I go out, and see you next time. Bye.